Tonight, in the writer's room, find out what's Braydan's beef with middle school English. Is Cole turning into George Lucas? And which idea will get the knockout in round 2? You picked the right time because...
It's time to ride it. 3, 2, 1, let's get it. Come on, pull up a chair.
This is so stupid. Are we started already?
Yeah. Sorry.
I might as well address that the elephant in the room. This stupid camera. So if you don't know, folks, I have constant troubles with my camera. Ever since I figured out how to get this guy, my actual camera, hooked up to my computer, literally every time I've had an issue with it. Every episode I've had an issue with it. And it's getting frustrating. And today, Discord decided to be fun and do something that it's never done. Give me the option to use my iPhone as my webcam. It's not hooked up to anything. It just is this now. So.
Oh shit.
Here's my actual webcam. By the way.
Hold on.
Holding on. Let me serenade you guys for a second.
Oh my gosh, my fan was on. It was creating noise. Whoa.
All right. Well, if you don't recall, folks, we're working on some spooky, scary stuff for this film.
Yeah. How was Braydan last week? Or Wednesday? How was Braydan Wednesday?
A couple days ago. Yeah.
A couple days ago.
Do you like that? Did you find that fun
How
for
was
you?
that?
How
was
for
that?
How was that for you? You know, how was that?
Glad you liked it.
I don't know why you're being. Yeah. I especially am glad you liked it because it was fun to make.
Yes. I've got some ideas brewing for some solo stuff. We're back to finish.
We're back.
The sequence.
This is the first episode.
2.2.
This is the first episode that we've recorded together in about a week or two now, which is crazy.
It's been 2 weeks. I think it's been exactly 2 weeks.
That's crazy. I missed it. I missed seeing your face across the ways there.
Yeah. I miss your face.
That it felt very genuine from my end because it was genuine, and that in response is
It was genuine for me too.
That was genuine. That right there was the most genuine thing you've said so far.
Bro. Is that Red Robin?
No, it's hiding the logo because no sponsorships.
True.
It's a local restaurant in my hometown.
We don't support Red Robin.
Let's be open to Red Robin.
That's a bold-faced lie. Actually, Red Robin, if I'm being honest, I gotta give them a shout out. They had one of my favorite commercials when I was growing up, and it was something about a monkey stealing a cheeseburger, and it's just the best thing ever. So love you guys, Red Robin. Never hear about you anymore, but
Red Robin, we love you. Sure, give us a sponsorship, maybe. We'd like that, probably. You know.
I hope Red Robin's still around because I never.
I hope they're still around. Okay, Cole. Here's what I'm gonna propose for the start of this episode.
Yes.
Give our viewers a walkthrough of what we've been doing on the script. Maybe kind of go back through some of this stuff, and then maybe let's say what we're gonna do in this episode and what's our goal. Let's set our goal for this episode. And while you do that, I have a solution that maybe makes all of this less dumb. Okay. Go for it, buddy.
Okay.
Go for it.
So, I'll start with the goal since I'm down here. The goal, at least for me, is to get through 2.2. We are the goal is to get through 2.2, and I'll explain more on that here in a minute. So, this is a film, if you haven't, been watching this season, season 2, go check it out, we got a playlist. This is a film where it's combining a Transylvania monster-like setting with Wild West. We're taking American folklore monsters and we're kind of merging them with the old Wild West gunslinger stuff. So we have two characters. Our protagonist is a Chinese immigrant. We did some historical research, and there were a lot of Chinese immigrants, and we wanted to create a protagonist that was not kind of part of this world. We wanted to throw a character into an unknown world, and then our secondary character is our kind of main cowboy that we follow, and he is kind of he is very familiar with this world. He's part of a monster hunting cult. And so we begin with Jeunie. She ends up getting into some trouble with some of these monsters. She's not familiar with this territory. Ignore above me. Yep, just ignore that. So she ends up meeting the Coyote, who is our cowboy guy, and they end up kind of they're at odds at first, but they kind of understand that they need each other to accomplish goals. So after a little bit of discussion and fighting, they kind of decide to work together, which brings us into Act 2, where they end up in a small town, classic T-town kind of thing. It's not very big. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's in the western end of Texas. Whole thing's taking place in Texas. And we witness our first major monster, which is the Urayuli. They are a peaceful set of monsters that don't typically attack humans, but looks good, Brayden. Good job.
Yay.
They kind of try to work with them to kind of protect them, or at least that's how it seems at first. But the more we get into this, the more we kind of see we end up meeting a part of this cult that the Coyote is a part of that hunts monsters. The wolf. Again, if this is fast and people are getting confused, go back and watch season 2. It will be so much easier.
Yeah.
But they end up deciding that the Urayulis are a threat. They're adopting a new leader, and they end up going and fighting this leader. There's more detail in there that make it more interesting, but I'm trying to just get us caught up.
Yeah, let's just speed run it.
So after everybody's defeated, we kind of learn that, maybe this wasn't as it seemed. Our backstory that we're kind of using to write this stuff is that the Urayulis are actually being abused and taken advantage of, and they're more like slaves. Anyway.
Yeah. That's it.
Jeunie and the Coyote move on from the town. They end up getting attacked by the what is that called? The Fresno Nightcrawlers. These essentially
correct.
A walking pair of white pants that we've kind of changed to become more scary. So they escape from those, and that brings us to where we are currently, which is the Coyote is kind of fighting off the Fresno Nightcrawlers. Jeunie is kind of saved 2 kids and made it into Dallas, which is kind of the goal, was to make it to Dallas. Like from the beginning of our film, their goal was to make it to Dallas. So now we have to write what happens to the Coyote. How does he get out of this situation, being surrounded by Fresno Nightcrawlers? Does he succeed? Does he get lucky? What happens? I think our goal is to try to get kind of most of the way through HQ, but there's a lot of rules that we have to kind of figure out and work out. So I'm not sure we'll get 2.2 done today, because the start of 2.3 involves a major twist in which the cult that the Coyote's a part of is revealed to be a cult of psychopaths, which, most cults are. And they have to fight their way out of the Monster Hunter HQ so that we can then kind of try and cure Jeunie some other way. Which I forgot to mention, because I'm an idiot, she's been infected by a monster virus, and that starts at the beginning when she is rescued by the Coyote after dealing with monsters and stuff. Seriously, go back and watch season 2, because that summary was terrible, but honestly, whatever.
I thought it was beautiful. Couldn't have said it better myself. That's why I mimed it.
The Coyote is surrounded. What do we do?
Right. Okay. I am recalling something, Cole, that you said in a previous episode, and if we can find it, I'll just blop it right here.
I for sure want the Coyote to walk away with a vial of the Uriuli blood.
May I ask why?
Because I want him to use that later in the plot for a really cool action scene.
Okay, but what you said is he takes some Uriuli blood in the previous sequence. And you said, I want him to use this to get out of a situation. Maybe the situation has already come.
Yeah, like 3
where he
episodes
can use it
ago.
now. Yeah.
That's going to be a clip to find. Now, you know what I also said, though?
What's that?
That might be how they get out of the HQ.
That's true too. Okay. Yeah. Dude, I guess that probably would make more sense. Give a bit more space between the plants and the payoff for it to really land instead of immediately cashing in on that blood. But that's a good thing to keep in mind now that we've kind of reiterated for later on in the story, probably around 2.3. I want, as a writer and as a surrogate audience member in this situation, what I would want to see in this scene is I want the Coyote to do something that he hasn't done before yet on screen. Probably something that he's used to doing in his day-to-day life, but something that we haven't seen him do so far in the progression of the script. So what have we seen him do to get out of situations?
Well, so far, the only time he's been a decent monster hunter is at the very beginning, so he needs to be really cool here.
Yeah, now is the time for him to do some really badass shit.
Are you trying to tell me to just go do my action thing, or
I wasn't, but now that you mention it, I'm not gonna say no, because we kind of got some scares in here, and there's gonna be opportunity later on to do more scares. So I'm not really worried about the scare department right now. I think since you have brought up a good point, the Coyote hasn't done a lot of really expert monster hunting stuff yet. Now would be the time to actually start seeing him do some James Bond, Ethan Hunt, John Wick type shit.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
I'm gonna
This is a good start. Young
Well,
that's a great start.
Yeah.
We love seeing that.
Well, I had a thought.
I would be a little.
I had a thought, but I don't think it's. I don't know. Hang on. I want to enhance his reflexes. I want to give him a slight buff because he's very disadvantaged. And for him to be able to just do this out of nowhere, it would make him be able to solo the Uriulis.
Could he take Nightcrawler blood? Over the course of this bit,
I was
could
just
he
gonna
somehow find a way.
I was just gonna MacGuffin some a vial of yellow liquid into his inventory. Yeah.
But remember what I've said about causality. It's more satisfying when we see him do it on screen. Maybe
that's true, but he's also been a hunter for years, so he may have just had this on his person.
Yeah, logically that would make sense, but sometimes movie writing is not about always doing the most logical thing. Sometimes it's about doing the most satisfying thing.
All right. Well, fine.
Infamous instance.
So what does Nightcrawler blood do then?
That's a good point. What is their real special ability here? I mean, we know that they are able to control their environment in some way because we have the bioluminescent aura that they're able to lure prey into. That's
Glow in
kind
the
of
dark
part of
doesn't
their
help me.
glow in the dark doesn't help you.
No, it doesn't. No.
What if it's if it's they're able to emit something, maybe he's able to emit mirages of himself, perhaps.
I like that. Here, let me tell you exactly what I want. I want to be able to make him kill these things, but the only way I can picture this is if he takes a sample of something that enhances his reflexes so he has almost perfect precision for a temporary amount of time. That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know how to get him that. So I may not be able to do what I want here, which is fine.
And can we save that bit for later? Because, I mean, that's cool. That's a cool idea.
Well, yeah, but I don't want him to use a buff when he's fighting the monster version of Zhenya. But yes, I think we can save it for maybe if we throw in a Wendigo before. I don't think we're gonna have room for a Wendigo, if I'm honest. That might be for the sequel. But
yeah, possibly. I mean, it feels right now that we're shaping up the wolf and his compatriots to be the primary antagonist. After a certain point,
the last major monster fight I think we're gonna have is a swamp monster as they're making their way to the wizard, and that's
this is definitely less of a man versus man type story and more of a man versus environment, and also man versus self for Zhenya. That's a bit outdated. Now that I'm saying it out loud, that whole they teach you that while you write that, they teach you that in school, folks. I don't know if they still do that. If they still teach that, the types of conflicts where it's man versus environment, man versus society. Yeah. But, Oaks, we can have women protagonists. We can have non-binary protagonists. We can have animal protagonists. We can have robot protagonists. So, what the fuck were we doing? What I present whoever is in charge of the Department of Education before they gut it, before they just completely burn it to the ground. Let's at least make one good change. Let's make it protagonist versus self, and protagonist versus antagonist, and protagonist versus nature, so that we can all be protagonists, because that's what story writing is. There we go. If anyone in the DOE is still out there before they're all on the streets, let's get that in motion. You know what I mean? It's fun to laugh about it before it becomes a terrible reality. All right, let's see what Cole's been up to.
I'm gonna have to number
I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna read off what you've written so far, if that's all right.
I have to number these guys because I'm not gonna be able to keep track.
All right, I'm gonna take that as a yes, so I'm gonna read it.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Coyote unsheaths his mace and transforms it into a pickaxe. All right, we haven't seen that yet, but that was something that we really liked in his arsenal. A Nightcrawler, the first one, lunges its foot towards him, and he dashes out of the way. He plunges his pickaxe into Nightcrawler 1's leg. All right, cool.
Whoa. He's wearing a coat.
It quickly grabs a vial from his coat. He grabs.
Wait, from his coat. Wait.
Scoops. No. No. Wait, hold on. Before that, he does scoop.
And scoops.
And he grabs a vial from his coat and scoops some blood.
You suck. I know it's my fault, but how did I get 2 spaces there? All right. Or scoop some blood, then immediately, you know, I'm gonna not have him kill all 3 of these.
He immediately.
Well, I'm imagining it's 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Injects it
into
his
leg. Injects it into his leg.
His
There we go. I also contributed to this. His eyes. His eyes are glowing.
For a moment.
They're blue.
I'm making up
Just
shit.
for a moment, though.
For a moment.
So now does that mean we've established a visual indication when he's using these powers is that his eyes are going to glow a different color? Is that something that we're going to keep?
I think some can, some can't. Like every monster blood's different in my eyes. But I think there's usually a visual indication.
I would like that there is a visual indication. It doesn't have to be consistently like eye color, but something that we can see that is like clearly transforming within him would be very helpful.
Veins.
His VNs
Change. Grow and change. I mean, their veins are pretty much.
They grow, but they also change. I don't know if you caught that, folks.
And are.
But also
A bold blue, whatever that means.
Bold blue. Yeah.
Actually, wait. He grunts in pain for.
He grunts in pain for
a second. I don't want to give him a beat. Like he and then he keeps going.
Nice.
Night Crawler 2.
Night Crawler.
Swings its head around like a giant club towards the coyote. The coyote is hit and flies into a tree. He gets up. He gets up slowly. Then illusory, that's not spelled right, versions of himself sprout. He disappears into a crowd of himself. The night crawlers stomp on the illusions.
Nice.
Failing to find the right coyote. The coyote sneaks up on one in the back and leaps up.
Ooh. Did you hear that, folks? He leaps up.
He buries the pickaxe.
But he also buries
into the night crawler's head.
Yo.
I don't remember the sound
crazy.
that we actually gave the Nightcrawlers.
Something like a monkey, I believe. No, was that the
was the Dover Demon.
Dover Demons. We wrote it for sure.
I'm gonna let you
Did we
figure
write
that
it?
out.
A slight humming creates a soothing feeling. So they kind of like hum to lull in further.
So I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, I remember. It was like the distorted, pitched up children kind of voices. Or was that the Yuri?
I think it's Yuri.
That's the Yuri. I'm getting them all mixed up.
I'm gonna say it growls.
I'm over 2. Yeah, we'll go with that.
The Coyote removes the removes the pickaxe and
Yeah.
mashes his revolver into the open wound and shoots several times.
Sweet.
Nightcrawler, I'm gonna say 3, falls over.
Yeah, baby.
Dead.
Yeah, baby. Nice. All right.
Now I'm gonna have him just kind of escape. The Coyote looks around. He doesn't see any sign of Junier or the kids. Just more night crawlers. The Coyote creates more illusions of himself and disappears as his clones are slowly turned into mist by the group of night crawlers. All right, we are now in Dallas.
Yay.
We just have to get the Coyote and Junier connected.
Back
I would
together.
say Junier probably fell unconscious when she made it. Her adrenaline's worn off.
Okay.
She was having like a pain episode thing.
Okay.
And it's like she pushed herself
Are there-
to a degree that probably I imagine she went unconscious.
Okay. So, at what point do they split off Junier and the Coyote? Because I know they were kind of working together up to a certain point. Where does that?
Audience, this is how you know
where do
we
they
have
splinter off?
We have not taken a look at this in 2 weeks.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
So-
and that's okay. You can always come back when you're ready.
Earlier in the scene, the Coyote kind of picks up on what's going on, and he stays behind to draw them towards him, while Junier takes the kids from this family. They're orphaned now, so she takes the kids and just books it for Dallas.
I thought there was a little bit of the Coyote falling behind, then getting drawn away.
Yeah,
but...
that's kind of how that ended up.
Okay, yeah. So they've been apart for most of that scene, or most of that sequence. So I guess what we're doing here is like parallel action. We have 2 concurrent stories happening at the same time, and we'll probably cut back and forth between the 2. Here's my question to you, because it all depends on how you want to play this midpoint out. Do you want to A, have the Coyote and Junier separated throughout going through HQ and things, or do you want them to get back together as quickly as possible so that they can share their reactions and the moments of seeing everything for the first time, with the audience at least?
I've had an idea.
I like ideas.
I don't think you're gonna like it.
Oh, no, never mind. I don't like this.
I wouldn't be opposed though to having Junye wake up at HQ. Like she's been like the kids told the Dallas guards or something. This is what happened, and she wakes up in HQ, and next to her is probably one of the blood magic dudes, and they have a conversation. And then the Coyote kind of is just like out of breath. He walks in. Yeah.
Let me think. No, it's not that I don't like it because I do like the dropping in of the situation where we kind of just start with plot stuff and kind of leave all the other bits to the imagination. And what is that called? Late point of attack.
Yeah.
That's the screenwriting term. Late point of attack. Where we kind of reveal what happened in the interim through the dialogue and through context clues. So we don't have to go through the slog of the traditional, like, welcome to Monster Hunting HQ. Let me walk you through everything. I like that aspect.
Yeah.
I guess it does work.
Well, it also here's the thing. Here's where I think the biggest problem lies. Is she's gonna wake up. And the blood magic dudes aren't exactly pretty. Like they're kind of scary looking.
They don't look nice.
I don't think so.
Are they shrouded behind like hoods or something? Like what's their?
If that makes sense.
They are like ghouls.
They're like
okay.
ghouls, except they act human. They're like I don't know, anorexic, pale.
Ghouls.
Like I don't know. Well, I don't know. What's the? Is there another term for like?
They're
like
ghouls,
super
but
skinny?
they're dudes. You know.
They're just dudes.
You just figured it out. It's skinny.
Yeah, but there's skinny, and then there's like,
There's skinny, and there's also like super skinny. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. They're like, well, they're using blood, and it's like they're drained of everything in my mind.
Okay.
So, but she wakes up next to one of these, and he's just like, it takes somebody really special to fight it. Because, like, the kids, they said what happened. It takes somebody special to fight off, or to do what you did. And it's like, he might be like, you'd be a good recruit.
I think
she'd be, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What could be, would these blood magic individuals, the necromancers or whatever we want to call them, do they have a use for Junye's infected monster blood? Bar if she's still like the chosen one Harry Potter blood. Apart from that, like, do they still have a use for her blood? Because if so, could be interesting in this conversation for her to subtly reveal her situation, and then he becomes obsessed with, like, okay, now absolutely. I know why I... Yeah. So you think they could use her blood? Like, that would make sense within the world?
Well, I think that once they figure out, oh, she's the chosen one, like, they've been looking for somebody with this kind of blood for a long time. I imagine they're, like, opening a portal to create more chaos, more monsters come into the world or something, and which ultimately would kill her. But yeah, I don't. That's a good point. But the tension that we have to create without revealing the real reasons is we have to essentially, because this dude does not know that her blood is special yet.
Right.
All this dude knows is that it's infected. But I think we need to find a way to create tension that something might be wrong without doing too much. I mean, with the way this guy's supposed to look, it might already just come across naturally.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, like, can we shroud his appearance until we, like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got a hood on or something.
Yeah. Or even, like, in the recessed shadows of, like, the architecture would be kind of interesting. Where it's, like, not so, like, stereotypically, like, he's got a hood over his face, but like he's literally like creatively blocked and in the shadows of like the lighting of this like what I imagine to be like a very large kind of backrooms-esque location where it's like a big stable of some kinds, and like maybe the light coming through like the windows is like, but he's always just in the shadows to where you can't really make out his face.
Right.
Like that's kind of interesting. Where so she can't really see what he looks like, but she's trying to like maybe get a read on this guy, or maybe her mind's not even on that. She's just like, take me to the person I need to go to because I came all this way with the hopes of being cured. And you're the first guy I met in here, so you gotta do me a solid. And also, hopefully, the Coyote shows up and like does his part of the job too. Yeah, but
the Coyote's probably gonna be the one that spills the beans on. She's the chosen one.
So
probably, I don't know.
I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've really, at this point so far in the beat sheet, having mentioned anything about her like chosen one potential, like exactly, instead of her just being like infected and from an outside world, which I think also kind of gets more into, we need to make sure when we get into the script, getting more into Jeannie's backstory and her like character completely.
Well, the way I look at it, she doesn't even know she's the chosen one until the Coyote looks at her blood. But to me, it's a false prophecy. She's the one that her blood has the power to open up a dimension to other monsters. That's what I've been kind of running with, is the Monster Hunter cult wants as many monsters in the world, as much chaos as possible. They are the villains. And they may want that door open permanently. Maybe that's what her blood does. This, like, opening this door would kill her. Like, 100%. But she's supposed to be, like, it's written to be like, oh, she's the chosen one. She's actually going to save us. But actually, it's a false prophecy. It's more kind of just like, oh, she's going to kind of bring about the end of us in the right circumstance, you know?
Okay, yeah. Let's see.
So it's like a false chosen one thing. But she's still going to overcome the odds of everything. And actually, that's kind of the twist. Is like, yeah, it's a false prophecy, but she does kind of end up being somewhat of a chosen one. And, you know, she's going to battle her mentor in a lava-based area. And at one point,
oh, she is.
When
did that happen?
One of them's going to end up with a higher ground, and it's just like, at what point do you say enough is enough? And you know, she's gonna get cocky, she's gonna get confident, she's gonna jump over her mentor, and the mentor's gonna cut her in half and cut her arm and leg off.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, and it's gonna be.
Yeah. Welcome to the writer's room with Braydan and George Lucas. Welcome, George, everybody.
Yeah.
I think this conversation also brings me to another point that I would like to iron out before we get any further, is the exact plans and motivations of what is shaping up to be our major antagonists in these blood magic monster hunters that the wolf eventually joins the ranks of. Which, again, that reminds me that we need to bring the wolf back into this.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking about that too, and I haven't figured it out
Yeah.
yet.
So, you mentioned that throughout this whole time you've been running with the idea that they're going to open a dimension to more monsters to show more chaos. With that idea in mind, what exactly would their end goal be with that? Like, they bring more monsters in to, like, create more chaos. They wouldn't control the monsters, though, would they? I don't think they would have that ability.
But it's also
But they would just hope that they would create enough anarchy for them to take over, amass wealth.
Also, maybe it's something like there's power in this dimension, you know? Like, that's kind of as far as I've gotten, because I haven't developed what this dimension is, because we're not gonna go there in this, because we're not gonna, like we can get the goal, like, oh, there's some power in this dimension. Yeah, it's gonna, maybe it'll release more monsters, which is good for them anyway, because they need the monster blood. But it's also like, well, maybe they plan to like go in and out of there so that they can kind of become stupid powerful, and maybe they want to become one with the monsters instead of hunt them all the time. Maybe they've become so close to this blood that it's just like, I am the monster already, so why can't I take this gem and, like, I don't know, swallow it, and then I become a demon or something myself? So it's like, I don't know, and that I'm, spitballing a little bit. And
the thing about this world that we're creating is, I think at the moment we're leaning pretty big into the fantastical elements, with like how the abilities and rule set of monster blood, and how it can enhance monster hunters, and how it can infect normal people / turn them into monsters, and that whole thing, which is really interesting and not something that I've really seen before, which makes this concept original and cool. The thing for me is, I don't want to necessarily say that doing this like opening dimension rift would be quote unquote jumping the shark, because I don't necessarily think it would. I think it kind of fits, but in order to create some contrast in the external elements of the world and the internal elements of like the plot and the theming and stuff, I wonder if there's almost more of a grounded motivation / plan that these blood magic users can employ in order to get what they want, which is more power. Or I think, because that's kind of like, that makes the most sense, is that they want more power, and that's why they're doing all of this, because that's kind of what the monster hunters on the basic side have been doing, is trying to get more power. What I like about... Okay, no, you go ahead.
So,
you get your finger.
I would say it's not even the blood magic people that want it as much as it is the leader of the HQ, who I don't think we're going to meet this story.
Okay.
I think he's just like kind of he's overshadowed, kind of. It's just like, oh, his entire like plan, like his presence is here, even though he's not really seen.
He's basically like turning the other cheek on these guys to like, I'm just going to pretend like I'm not seeing you and not endorsing any of this, but you're going to go out and do what I want. And I'm going to be like, oh my God, I had no idea. But like, thanks for making me king of the world or whatnot.
Well, that's an interesting argument, actually, because that would imply that there is versions of this cult that are decent. And
yeah, I think that's what I've been
that is about, interesting.
Because that not only gives us like a reason for why maybe the Coyote would be so ambivalent, and like this would be like a complete shock to him and the wolf. I think we did mention that like they're both taken aback by this reveal, but also I think it kind of makes sense for Coyote. It would gratify Coyote's like mindset. Like, not all of these guys are in it for evil, and like they're, because if like the leader knows it and is endorsing openly the actions of the blood magic users within monster hunting HQs, it would almost be like, well, if you're not really with the monster hunting blood magic guys, then it's time to get out of the HQ, you know? Why would the Coyote just like not leave if it's gonna be plastered around the HQ? Like, join the blood magic guys, we're fucking up everything. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so yeah. He's just kind of been manipulated. I think that maybe there's like a handful of very big HQs. One's in Dallas, one's in like New York, one's, I don't know.
Yeah.
Spitballing, and it's like the bigger ones, cities, the bigger ones are like not great. But then you have like these smaller ones that are like, oh, we're staying true to what our job is, and that is to do our best to kind of protect who needs protecting, and we're not really after power. We need power to do our job, but we're not doing it for any other like take over the world motivations. So I actually really like that idea, and so it's also a metaphor.
A metaphor.
For
I love metaphors.
corrupt governments.
Yes, because that's exactly. I was just about to get into that.
Yeah.
We're basically building a representation of corruption in not just the government, but in very large bodies of organization. Like, there's clearly maybe some like religious takeaways you can take from this if you're like kind of like how the corruption of some fundamentalist nationalist churches here in America are kind of acting with disregard to other people with the goal of like accumulating power. And one of the big parallels that I'm kind of pulling from it, and I think could help maybe get into some motivation and planning, is the FBI's actions and the CIA's actions and the US government's actions overall during the Cold War, how they were supplying, encouraging regimes or like upbringing or uprisings in other countries with the sole purpose of overthrowing communist countries so that they could continue spreading democracy, which is actually just like sympathetics to America so that they can spread their ideology and their power throughout the world. And it's like, but with the altruistic goal in their heads that like we're crushing communism.
Yeah.
And there's almost a direct parallel between the communists and maybe the monsters in this regard. But maybe that gets a little shaky. But it's like they're using the monsters to kind of do their dirty work and then stepping in and being like, we saved you from the monsters that kind of like ruined all your supplies and like made you super weak so that we could easily like set up a HQ right here and run your town for you. And you're welcome. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, it's subtle. It's very malicious. And I think it's believable that the residents of this world would not see the wolf in the sheep's clothing in that scenario.
Yeah, I would.
So
I agree.
So I guess if we're basically like, now I don't think we have to change anything that we've written, but we maybe have to like kind of tweak some motivations here and there of like, they're gonna maybe try to like, I guess kind of what it's clicking. The wolf goes to that T-town because they have the Uriuli and are able to like, quote unquote, control them for their whims. They're a bit too powerful. Right. So we have to get rid of their monsters. So I'm just going to go over there and shoot them all so that we can take them over next. Yeah. So it's like we're slowly kind of like going around, killing the monsters that pose a threat to us, and then unleashing the monsters, like kind of like corralling them around to the next town to kind of give them some fits. And then we're going to come in and save them. And then we're going to set up an HQ there. And then we're going to take over that town area and kind of spread around like the plague. So if it's that kind of, okay, you have a stink face. What's up?
Well, I don't know. I feel like they kind of already own Texas. Like, they're just trying to even, like...
Okay, so if they have the power, then what would they want? I feel like they're not going to be stopping, because that's the whole theme. Yeah. Is that once you have something, you don't stop. So what would they want in addition to, like, they're ruling the biggest city in the country, or in the state.
In the state.
What's next? And what can they do in Texas? Because that's kind of where we're setting our story. What can they do in Texas to get to that goal of maybe we want DC, we want to go overseas, we want Canada, we want Mexico, we want London, we want to start going there.
I think like having the leader, and this is why I bring this like dimension up, having the leader turn into like some, not just like turning into a monster, but turning into something like that we would make up, like something that's not like traditional folklore, something that is so crazy that it could destroy everything. And it's like
their nuclear bomb, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
They're building a nuclear bomb.
That's what I would love to work up to, is like we have we're gonna have the Thanos of this universe. We're gonna have this purple dude with all of the Infinity Stones. Sorry, Mickey Mouse. And he's our big bad. And it's like Jeunet and the Coyote. And, you know, if we do... We're going to probably eventually do a sequel. I don't know when, but...
I do think if we're going to introduce a villain of that level, we can't really make him the focus of this movie. It's just too much.
That's why...
To kind of burden the audience with. That big picture, maybe that makes more sense.
Well, that brings me back to my overshadow point. Everything stinks of him, and it's just like, oh, wait, this guy we haven't met, this is a mysterious kind of thing. And it's like, we maybe, like, I don't know, maybe we do, like, an ending scene where it's like, maybe something fell out of the portal that is, oh, he's that much closer to his goal, or he is close, or he has his goal, or something like that, and it's like, oh, well, now we have something that we have another MacGuffin that we don't know what it is, that we can explore.
Yeah, my counterpoint to that would be, can we do all of that interesting stuff without the portal? Because I feel like we already have a lot of mechanics built into the world, adding dimensions and like multiverses, which I think audiences are kind of getting tired of right now.
What does her blood
maybe overcomplicate some stuff?
What does her blood
That's a good point.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, that's the answer. Her blood has to be something special that can give the Monster Hunter blood magic guys what they want and what they've been in search for this whole time before making their big move. If the end goal if like the next phase of their plan is we elect our leader and infect him to become our nuclear bomb type thing.
And that's in like movie
yes or no
or something. But
that's like movie 2, but that's like that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
With Jeunet's blood, then Jeunet's blood has to serve that function. So does Jeunet's infected monster blood turn you into a super monster?
See, I don't know, because then it's like that can't work, because listen. If we we turn her into a hunter at the end of this film, because I think that's our cure for her infection, is she's turned into a hunter by a wizard in a swamp.
Yeah. Okay.
So if she becomes a hunter and her blood turns you into a crazy super big monster thing, that I don't know, the logic doesn't fit for me there. Because then it's like, well, why wouldn't she turn into that? So...
Is that not what she's kind of doing? Is that not the trajectory?
Yes, but she's turning into a folklore-based monster. It's not like this super crazy world-ending monster. It's just a monster that can exist in the wild.
Do we want to change that?
No.
Okay.
Listen. I'm gonna put my foot. I'm gonna put my foot down. The foot is down. We're gonna fight again. This is great. Okay.
Foot is down on what exactly?
I really want this portal.
You want the portal?
I do. Listen to me.
I don't. No.
Listen to me.
No. What are you talking? Okay, I'm listening.
Okay.
We can be diplomatic.
Yeah.
All right.
And this might continue in the next episode, because I think we're gonna have to really think on this. You have a bunch of these creepy dudes that are able to do things we've never seen before. We're about to witness this crazy ritual that it's near fatal to Jeunet. It's near fatal. It has to do something crazy enough that it almost kills her. And it's like, I'm not even saying we open it all the way. Like, even just like a baseball-sized portal, because it can't be completed, because otherwise she's dead. So it's like, if it's interrupted, and it's not open all the way, it's almost just like a glowing, like, black hole-looking thing.
A little anus.
A little anus, and all I'm saying is a little object maybe falls through it during the ritual that, I don't know what that is. We can figure that out when we get to that moment, but and that's not even thinking for this story. That's thinking for the next installment or whatever. So it's just like, they get what they want ish. I don't know. That's up for debate also. But then it's like, you know, she's like bleeding from the eyes, ears, and her fingers, like all of any. If it has skin, it's like she's not doing very well, and it's like she's barely able to fight.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I just feel like it has to be dramatic, and it's like, I don't see, like, this is where the monsters came from. We're opening the door to where the monsters originally, like, the first monsters came from this world, and it's like nobody's ever. It's like people, we haven't explored most of our ocean, so it's another metaphor.
Here's my counterpoint. I already did mention that we're kind of oversaturated in multiverse type stuff, and I don't care if your portal is not that. It's too much of that for me. Okay.
We haven't done any multiverse stuff at all.
We haven't.
What are the?
Yeah, we haven't.
We haven't.
But other people have.
Oh,
And-
yeah. Well, I'm not even talking about multiverse. I'm talking about like Pacific Rim kind of thing. Except the portal isn't always open.
That's semantics. But one of the things that I really, really loved about, or I still love about this story, is how the monsters sort of function in this role of a representation of nature and its fickle balance between it can give you everything you want if you are open to it, and it can take it all away if you mistreat it. You know, so like the people that are nice to the monsters and show it love, like the townspeople in the T-Town and maybe eventually Junye and the Coyote, they kind of they reap what they're sowing, and in so regards is the monster hunters trying to control these beasts for their nefarious purposes, and it ends up failing. Part of that charm of that theming kind of loses its luster for me if the monsters are just like quote unquote aliens or from another world or from another dimension through this portal. If that's their origins, and that doesn't mean that I know what I want the origins to be for these monsters, because I don't, and that would take some thinking also.
It sounds like we need to figure out where these monsters kind of
Are coming from
a little bit, but it also sounds like we need to figure out what Jinye's blood does. I really, All right, we might have to do some thinking and continue this debate next time.
That's what you're coming for now. It's like we this is the debaters room with
yeah, I know we've had two like crazy fights. Well, not in the last one.
I wouldn't even call them fights. Before this episode ends, Cole. This is the part where I'm going to monologue about the creative journey and working together, even apart from disagreements.
Yep. So,
I don't know if you could hear the train going by.
No, it's pretty funny.
It was just but Cole, buddy, we've been working on this film for how long now? It's been like 18 episodes.
Yeah.
So
it's
a couple months now, I think. We've been on this puppy for a while, and there have been no shortages of disagreements here and there. I wouldn't call them fights, though. I don't really think they've been fights.
No, they're not. I'm just being dramatic.
Yeah. I don't know. I would hope that I'm gonna put this out there now so we can know. I wouldn't want to end an episode genuinely mad at you for an idea, and I hope that you wouldn't want to end an episode genuinely mad at me
I
because
do.
of a disagreement on an idea.
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay. But that's part of the process. Like,
Yeah.
you can kind of feel a little, I wouldn't even say hurt, but a little taken aback when you're presenting an idea and maybe your writing partner is like, absolutely not. Which
Well,
that happens a couple times here, but that's not really...
The only thing I actually end up feeling is like a almost a playful grrr, just like I'm right,
Yeah.
you know. It's just
Oh,
like I'm not upset with
I'll get you
anybody.
next time.
I'm just like, how do I win? I'm like, how do I win 40
How do I
chess?
win? Oh, that's unhealthy. That's not very healthy.
But then it's also like accepting when you've lost, and it's like,
yeah,
even at the very beginning, I accepted that I lost because this whole idea was supposed to be in Europe.
True.
So I have thrown like 90% of the original idea away and reformed it with you and your ideas into what it is now. And I actually like it better than my original idea.
I see what you're doing. You're throwing it back on me for being so gracious to accept my idea so that I would accept this one idea of yours. But no, I'm not that generous. No, this is something that we'll talk about in the next episode for sure. We both come with some babies, and they can't all survive. Sometimes you have to be diplomatic. This is the Hunger Games, and we're just gonna kill the worst babies and let the good ones live. And it's about choosing which ones are the good babies and which ones are the bad babies. Wait for the compilation where I take all of those out of context, and it's gonna sound really crazy. But but no, folks at home, we're not actually mad at each other. Not this time, at least. Maybe down the road we'll come up to something that's just like tears us apart, and it's like something really small, like grammar or something.
Well,
like you fucker. It's like it's Y-O-U-R, not Y-O-U-R apostrophe R-E. You friendship over.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna get mad at me. I cannot spell.
It's, knowing our history is gonna be you not naming a character and me getting so riled up.
Yes. Anyway, quick announcement. This is probably the final week. Starting next week, we're gonna go back to once a week. The summer's kind of over. We're both about to kind of get busy with school.
We got school and work.
Yeah, and there's just life is happening, so we're gonna go back to one a week.
That too.
That's not
we're
saying
not going away. Don't be worried.
Yeah.
We're not going away.
And of course, we're gonna, like I said, Braydan, he's got his solo stuff. He might, crank one of those out, and that might be like a bonus something for a week. I know I'm kind of trying to develop some ideas for some fun things that we could get into.
Heck yeah.
And then we're also having a ton of fun with the podcast, which we're on Spotify as well. If you would prefer to just kind of listen, there's video on there too, if that matters. I mean, I don't know.
You can turn it off though, so you don't have to look at these faces. That's okay.
But anyway, on to the usual stuff. Leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking. If you have ideas for this film, if you have ideas for sketches. I know we keep saying it. And Braydan did kind of do something this past Wednesday, but
yes, I did. Go check that episode out. It was really fun. That was a fun exercise.
Mm-hmm. Leave a like, leave a dislike, but leave a comment giving us feedback.
You gotta say why. You gotta say why.
If you leave a like too, let us know what you liked, because we can do more of that.
That's a good point. Yeah. We want to hear your thoughts on the show, because we're always looking to improve.
Yes. But then also subscribe. That way you're notified when we post a new video. You don't have to go searching for us in the search bar and all that.
So much helpful.
Check out Instagram. We have a TikTok.
Boom.
The YouTube shorts are, we're doing YouTube shorts. So if you like some of our funnier clip moments, you can check those out too. And again, we're on Spotify. I don't think I'm missing anything.
I don't think so.
Hope everybody enjoyed. And
we hope you all have a great day.
We'll see you in a week.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.